Now we're recording. Yee. So earlier today we were speaking about mantras, and I thought we didn't want to start something and go even deeper when it was just about lunchtime. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to talk to you about the systematic approach to mantras. We're going to speak about the closed mantras. Well, not the closed. We're going to speak about the ones that are unlocked. And then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the gayatri mantra, one that's really kind of precious to me, and the fact that it really has been my mantra over the COVID situation. And then we're going to do a bit of call and response. And the good thing is, it's just you're doing it in your own place. That it's not good that we can't vibrate together, but there is a vibrational frequency that we can't see or feel, because at the end of the day, if you can do distance healing, we can do this vibrational frequency thing. There's just recently, I don't know, I was saying to you about, astrologically, August's meant to be really crazy, with Mars and Aries, there's going to be lots of conflict. And already all over social media just now, it's like Aberdeen, everyone's going, look at the revelers, look, we're going to spike, we need to lock down as that. But then at lunchtime today, there's some yoga teachers. There's a group called the Yoga Teachers of Aberdeen or whatever. So one, more of if you're a teacher trainer, or if you've been teaching for a long time, you're known as a senior yoga teacher. So this person's a senior yoga teacher who is kind of old school as well, so quite well respected, has said really they want to fight the government about taking it to so that we could do all yoga teachers not fair. If you can go to the pub, why can't you teach? We all need to get together and fight the government with this. And one of my I didn't teach him to be a yoga teacher. I taught him to be a children's yoga teacher. So he's one of my graduates, but he was an adults teacher then. The thing is, it can see how many people looked at it. So it was 87 teachers looked at it and nobody replied. You know how people don't want to make a fuss or don't want to say anything. So I looked at it and thought, well, I don't want to fight the government about this. I've learned to adapt. And I've got a terminally ill person in my family right now. I don't want to take any risks and it looks like there's possibly a second wave coming. The way things are just now, I don't think opening things up so you can teach and then changing it all again, it's just, let's adapt and see where things are. So I didn't want to say, well, no, I won't. I thought it was best not to say anything, but then he went, I can see lots of people have looked and no one said anything. So Simon has gone, yeah, well, I personally don't think teaching with masks on is appropriate. I also don't want to risk myself, my health or others, but this is I don't know whether it's based on fact or the truth, but this is how I feel and this is what I'm going for. And then he started tagging some of us, right? So he tagged me, so I'm like, oh no, I can't sit. And because I'm classed as a senior yoga teacher, I can't just ignore that. I have to say something. So I'm waiting because I said, personally, I used to be averse to online yoga teaching. When COVID hit, but at the time, I had a bunch of yoga teacher trainees that I couldn't have them floating around aimlessly. I needed to take action and do something. So I sat with it and applied the kleshas, the obstacles to enlightenment, to the situation, and realized that I couldn't be averse to online training, and I couldn't be I didn't want to be too attached to real life. I realized that I had to adapt, and something that helped me was knowing that the yoga that we practice in the West is actually not what yoga was. If we look back to history, what we teach in the West is a mixture of Swedish gymnastics and Indian bodybuilding, and standing postures doesn't come from India. So the way I see things right now is I'm happy to, and I said online, there's pros and cons for online and real life. But what I've found from teaching online is that we can still do it. We just have to learn to communicate better. So it's taught me to step up and have to communicate better. So because just now I want to keep my family and myself safe, and again, based on whether that's fact or, you know, I'm happy just to stay with this, stay with the online thing for just now. So I did that right a few minutes ago. And the way, you know, as I said, Mars is in Aries, and you know, there's a lot of opinions going about, people going, that's wrong, that's right, and you know, there's a lot of people thinking it's unethical to teach online. I think we've adapted. I think that we shouldn't get rid of real life teaching, because I think that that's important. But the way the world is just now, fighting the government so that we can all get together and breathe in each other. So nobody said anything. I was tagged and I've said, so I'm one of these people that, yeah, I was, you know, as I said, Mars is in Aries, and my Mars is in Aries. So I exist, and it riles people sometimes. So I've spoken my truth and I'm waiting to see. So I'll keep you posted. But I know what I said I meant from the heart. But as you know, the energies of just now, people are looking for. So even if you are a yogi, so I'm waiting. I'm sitting in the eye of the storm, and I'm not. You know, I don't feel I have to defend what I've said. I've really said what I've thought, and you guys obviously aren't averse to online, and you would have preferred real life too. But it's actually good in the fact that you can apply it to your online, to your, you know, you can fit it around your life. And also something you can, when you've done a lecture, if you've thought, oh, do you know what was that she said again? You can go back to the pre-records and see it. You know, normally if you're in real life, you take notes. And I know myself, I'll take notes on a teacher training, and it's not often I go back and look at my notes ever again, unless you're having to write an essay or something. You're writing the notes and that helps you go in, but it's actually helpful to actually go back, look at something if you feel you've not quite got it, you know, and to have things in a systematic way. That's good too. It's good to be in real life. So let's see what happens. But I thought I'd let you guys know, because we're on this journey together, where you guys are part of my journey as well as I'm part of yours. So I always feel like that when I'm running a yoga teacher training, I'm in my little bubble with you guys, because that's what matters, and you know, to get you to the other side. So because it's relevant to just now, let's sit in the eye of the storm and see what's happening. So I'll keep you posted. Okay, so we probably need a few mantras in our lives. Okay, so let's come to this mantra thing. So there's a systematic approach. You know, I'm well into my systematic approaches. I like to not live by the rules sometimes, but I know that there's a methodical, systematic thing. So you learn as much as you can, and then get it right, and then you can change it or adapt it to what's right, as long as you know what the right thing is. So the approach to silent mantra or japa practice, it has 5 steps. So each of the following steps unfold effortlessly and in their own time. So it's not about forcing anything. Mantras are already present. So this is, as we said earlier, they're already there. Everything's a vibrational frequency. So they exist already. It's a brilliantly strange concept, isn't it? They sustain the world. So your intention is to still your mind enough so you can perceive your mantra unfolding silently. So let's look at step 1. So step 1 is about connecting to your breath. So you're really like, you're really getting some sort of connection. As you said, the breath is the bridge to the mind is the bridge to the soul. And this is what we're trying to do. So connect to your breath first. The second step is the dawning of awareness. So as your mind becomes still, you can perceive the awareness unfolding. And then the third step is the experience that awareness is most concentrated at the third eye. So we're coming into third eye consciousness. So there's a few times that when we've been practicing recently, I've taken you into third eye awareness. When I meditate, just quite over the past few months, I've really found it's been really helpful to, with my breath, you inhale and take bring your awareness, can connect with your breath and bring your awareness to Ajna chakra. And as you inhale, take it from there to the midbrain. Exhale, come back. So you can really concentrate on the breath, moving from Ajna chakra, your wisdom, your intuition, and take it into the midbrain. And that is from a neuroscience, so it's not a perspective, this is a fact. The midbrain is where your sense of self is. Okay, so this is I studied the neuroscience of trauma. And so actually, you're really connecting to your sense of self by doing that. So eventually, instead of concentrating on the breath, allow it to become almost a pulse, just an awareness. It really gets you to that space, okay? So then the fourth step is to perceive awareness as a vibration or a sound. So as the experience unfolds, you can relax the voluntary breathing. So this is the movement of from the midbrain to the third eye. We can, today we were doing the movement, it was the silver thread from the base of your spine down the spine, and then we were working with it getting larger and larger and then expanding, and there was the pulse of Om. Okay, it's quite complex stuff, but you don't have to really remember it. This is just like me sharing this with you so that you know that there's more to mantras than just going, this is the mantra, let's all do that. I know that for me, I went on my teacher training and it was like, here's some mantras, let's all chant them together. Oh, all right then. And that was it. So I did mantras and knew that they made me feel good. I like to know the deeper stuff and really what it does and why it does that and how to take it further if you want to. If you don't want to, that's okay. But I really think getting to the nitty-gritty of the realness of it is better than giving you some sheets of paper to chant. It's kind of like the intention is actually more powerful than the actual thing sometimes. If you do something without the intention, it's almost ineffectual. So I think by knowing what you're wanting to achieve, or knowing a bit more about the vibe, knowing that mantras aren't just chanting words over and over, knowing that they're already there, they're a vibrational frequency, and you're just trying to reveal them to yourself by stilling your mind, makes them more pure and real. Yeah, does that make sense? I know I go on a little bit. My cousin, who isn't spiritual, she was like, how are you doing? So I realized that all I do is I hang about with my cats and speak about yogic philosophy, and I realized, oh God, I've got to try and be normal and not intense. I didn't manage. She says, don't worry, Louise, I've always thought you're a bit strange, but I still love you. So it's just be yourself. So I don't pretend to be somebody I wasn't. I just tried to tame down my intensity of my yogic philosophy. So this relaxing, the voluntary, this breathing. So when the breath becomes silent and effortless, and you have this almost like that pulse or the vibrational frequency moving through you. This is moving into the fifth step, the last step of mantras. So this is the listening, the feeling, and or seeing your mantra unfold from the current of silence. So this is what we tried to achieve in our meditation today. If I tried to tell you all this and then told you to do it, you would have been in your head trying to do the right thing. Like, oh, this is what she said, so I now have to do this bit and that bit. I decided to do it with you, so you didn't have to think it. You did it and felt it. So then I'd speak to you about it afterwards. Because sometimes if you're told something to you in this sort of perspective and then you did it, you'd be trying too hard. There'd be too much effort, so it would be in here and not in here. Yeah. So this feeling or seeing or listening to your mantra unfolding, it's a different level of sound that's the source of creation. It's a sound that gives rise to thought. So it's sound where you feel really exalted. It's the feeling or the experience of the mantra. It's not different from the mantra itself. So the feeling you have that the mantra gives you is the mantra too. You know, as I keep coming back to the paradox of yoga. So you don't have to understand the complexities of it. Just be a curious observer and be open to and accepting of things as they are. You know, and the understanding will come when you're ready. So don't worry sometimes if you're like, what the hell is she on about? Because sometimes things come to you, it could be years later after doing something, you're like, oh, I finally get that, or finally I'm interested in it instead of trying to learn it, you know. So so it's the essence of the mantra unfolding from the vibration that's the source of all. So the mantra unfolds and the vibration is you, and you are the mantra. It's all pretty heavy, but very, very good. So let's speak about some of the open mantras. So these aren't all the open mantras, but these are ones that are quite relevant. Ones that you can use and you know that they're open, which means that they work, instead of working with ones that, oh yeah, this mantra, let's do that. And you're doing a mantra and it sounds good, it feels good, but maybe it's been locked because it's so powerful that actually it's not going to do so much. I don't know if I've spoken to you, or if it was like my group of my students the other day. I can't, you know, sometimes it all kind of, when I'm speaking about stuff, it comes up about, you know, the intention and how, you know, so this person went to India to find a guru and tried to ask this tantric master, tried to find a tantric master and asked him to give him a mantra that he could use every day. So have I told you about this one? Okay. So he found this like wild man in the you know, so there's a lot of sadhus in specific areas. So these are like kind of, some of them are practicing, if they're tantric, some of them are practicing some dark stuff. You get some almost like some of the, you know, there's some really, yeah, like almost like black magic type stuff that they're doing. You know, but he was looking for a guru that's going to guide him on the path to so he could do his mantra, and a mantra that he'd been given, that'd been unlocked, that he could do to his altar. So he was given this mantra, went home, and he did it every day without fail, this mantra, and he was dedicated to it. And his life started really unraveling. It was just that, and he spoke to my teacher, Rod Stryker. No, it was Rod Stryker's teacher. Okay, so he's like this, he's written, you know, so many books. He's an amazing yogi. So he's like from the Himalayan Institute, and he's he basically, he says, oh, like, I've been doing this mantra every day and my life's unraveling and I don't understand it. And he says, right, what's the mantra? So he told him, and the guy started laughing. Rod Stryker's teacher started laughing. He's an Indian. And he said, do you know what your mantra is? And he was like, well, no. And he says, well, basically, you've basically been saying the name of the Indian version of Pamela Anderson every day. So he says, you've been honoring this Pamela Anderson type person for months, or I don't know if it was years or months, but it was like nothing. He's really dedicating. Something's happening. So yeah, you've got to kind of know what you're working with. So I think, so I really think knowing what your mantra does, knowing whether it's locked or unlocked, is quite necessary. Like, you know, instead of dedicating your life to an Indian Pamela Anderson. So the first one we work with today is Om. So Om, if you use the mantra Om, you can use it for transcendence, for peace, and dissolution of duality. You know, I've got more stuff. Transcendence and peace. I've got loads of information I want to share with you. I was like looking at everything, trying to get it so I can give it to you. So the other one is the one that I kind of gave to you as your mantra, and I think it's a really important one. Soham. So this one is you should use it in independent of the breath, like start to connect to the breath and then allow it to vibrate on its own, in a sense. So it's about merging the universal and the individual, because remember our meditation was about taking the finite to the infinite, so we were connecting. So it's about pointing or directing yourself to the universal being. Okay, it's about really having connection to the universe. So, which is quite a nice little concept going on here. And so you guys on a teacher training, that's something that you're looking to do. But Soham means I am, it's translated as I am as well. So another one, this is a good one, and I've always thought, oh, I should use that one, and it's one that really resonates, and I've never used it as my mantra before, but one day I'm sure I will. Rama, so R-A-M-A. So it's for enlivening your mind, awakening your purpose, moving forwards in life, positivity, and living your dharma. And I think perhaps the reason I've not used it, because I kind of feel that's a vibration that I'm in just now. I feel like I'm working towards my dharma and my purpose. I feel I'm not searching so much as I used to. I'm quite happy to be in this space where I'm at. So maybe Rama resonates, but I don't need to use it. I don't need to, you know. So if you feel that you're looking to, like, what is your dharma? How do you move forward in life? How do you enliven your mind? That is the one for you. Okay, it's a good one. Okay, and then the Gayatri mantra. So this one awakens the light of intelligence by dissolving any and all darkness, dullness, and doubt. So for me, I really needed this one, the fact that I didn't know whether I was going to be going to have to battle cancer, or but I also was I was having to lead a group of yoga teacher trainees, and I didn't want to abandon them. I needed to hold their space, so I knew I needed to hold my space. So I really connected to the Gayatri mantra. I set up a wee altar Yeah, my cousin was laughing at my altar today as well. Not in a bad way, not in a bad way. She's really kind and lovely, and she's just one of the most real people, but she's honest in the fact that she's like, oh, when I saw it on Facebook, it had a right good laugh. And she says, Kaya would never have let you get away with that if she was living there. And I went, yeah, I know. So I set up an altar, and the Gayatri mantra is still my mantra right now. Okay, there's another mantra that's unlocked, which is the one, and I can't remember the name of it. It's the one that Triambakam Pajamaye, that one. I'll send you a link to it, because oh dear, but that's another one. So I'll try and remember the name of it. But it strengthens the power of will, knowledge, and action. It unblocks the flow of enthusiasm, courage, and determination. Okay, it enables you to overcome all obstacles. I'll send you the link to that one today. So instead, and then you go, that doesn't sound like what Louisa tried to say. I'm never ever going to be a mantra master, and this is why I have to almost apologize when we do the call and response with the Gayatri mantra. My granda used to say to me, can you sing? And I used to always go, no, but I can dance. Okay, so we're going to do a mantra, and I'm going to be leading it, but I have to apologize for my singing abilities. Okay, so let's speak about the Gayatri mantra. So I've got lots of information here, and the Gayatri mantra, I'm sure most of you have heard of it, or most of you have heard it, and don't worry if you haven't. Okay, so Gayatri, it's one of the oldest mantras of the Vedas. It's used for celebrating the miracle of divine light, outwardly and inwardly, and aligning you with your intelligence of the evolutionary power at the heart of all spiritual teachings. So it brings you to connect to the teachings, but really from the heart. Okay, so it allows you to open up to the understanding of the teachings, which is quite handy. Okay, so it frees you from the fruits of karma, and it leads you towards moksha, freedom. So you can start, it's almost like it helps you to unlock the, you have your karmic things you need to deal with. Remember I was speaking about the north and south nodes. So anything that you've been given in this life to, challenges that you need to learn so you can transmute it and evolve, it sometimes shines that light on it, and sometimes in a way it might be challenging, but not in the way that's bad for you. So it's very much, it can sometimes, when you're ready, it can bring that things to the surface, so you can actually go, okay, I'm ready, and what can I learn from this? So which actually leads you towards moksha, freedom. So Gayatri enlivens the life force so that it expresses itself fully. It promotes longevity, courage, strength, understanding, clarity, and sweetness of speech. And these were all the things that I really needed to embody when I felt I needed to hold my space, but hold others' space. So it promotes longevity, courage, strength, understanding, clarity, and sweetness of speech. Okay. So finally, it's used to awaken Shakti, universal power. So for the purpose of overall awakening, and it's to enliven devotional practices. So it's really to lift you and give you, allow you to really to connect. So the essence of the Gayatri mantra is to exalt your intelligence, to be as bright as the sun, and to help you to overcome limitations and challenges in order to fully thrive. So if you feel that there's challenges been thrown at you, this is the one to use, in the sense that most of the challenges that are thrown at you, they're not like, you know, people go, oh, why does this always happen to me? Well, it could be, it's karmically something that you need to learn, so that you, instead of hiding from it or fighting against it, it's maybe like, okay, let's step out of the situation, or take myself out of the situation, and let's see, how can I do this differently this time? The Gayatri mantras, it brightens the light of knowledge and helps you see things for what they really are. So the mantra, it calls forth, it's 5 phases of divinity. Okay, so the first is Om. So the first of the Gayatri, so you don't have to, I'm going to give you a sheet on the Gayatri mantra, so you'll have more information on it, because it's a really important mantra. I've written out quite a lot for you. Yeah, a lot that's actually really interesting. So yeah, I've got lots to give you on the Gayatri mantra. So don't worry about trying to remember it. So Om, the first part, welcome to the gods, basically. 2 is Bhurbhuvasva. So that's the 3 phases of earth, ether, and the cosmos. So it's heaven. And then Tat Savitur Varenyam means the divine ultimate reality. It's equated with the glorious power of the sun. Bhargo Devasya Dimahi is the radiance, the luster, and the illuminating power of divinity, which frees our transition from darkness to light. And then Diyoyo Na Prachodayat is the invocation of prayer. So let's look at the actual translation, and then we're going to do it. Okay, so I think it's best to know what it means before you're just like throwing them out there. So this is the translation by Rod Stryker's teacher. So he's like an amazing teacher, and I'll probably post some stuff as we go along into your group from speeches that he's given too. He's a very amazing man. So the translation here is I meditate on the radiant and most venerable light of the divine, from which issues forth the triple world, the Bhu, Bhuva, and Sva, earth, ether, and cosmos. May the divine light illuminate and guide our intelligence. So it's considered to be the mother of the Vedas. So this mantra enabled the sages to receive the revelation of all the other mantras. So this mantra calms the mind, washes away karmic impurities, it purifies the ego, it sharpens the intellect, and it illuminates the inner being with the light that flows directly from the source. So this mantra connects us to the teacher within, and it helps us to receive inner guidance and inner inspiration. So the Gayatri enlivens life force so that it expresses itself fully. So it promotes longevity, courage, strength, understanding, clarity, sweetness of speech, and the power to enliven our studies and spiritual practices. So it means that I know that it's really helped me. So I started practicing it daily in March. And I know that since then, the studies that I've been practicing, I've been really, really able to embody what I teach and practice, as opposed to just going, that's what it should be. Or, you know, I don't want to teach something and then come offline and then I'm a different person, eating rubbish, drinking, and I embody what I practice, I embody what I teach now. But I think a lot of it is helped with the being dedicated to the Gayatri mantra. I maybe sound like a right, but I'm just talking from my heart here. Okay, so the impact can be subtle, but in time the effect is immense and it's everlasting. So it's almost like once you've opened that door and gone through the door, you can't go back. So it's not like I'm now going to go, right, everything that I've worked towards in my practices and studied, you know, I'm going to stop, and then I'm just going to go and live and, you know, become an accountant or something. It's deeper than that. It's becoming something that already is there. It's opening up yourselves to be awakened to who you really are, you know? So it's a process of purification that begins in a really deep, unconscious way, and it gradually pervades all aspects of our personalities. So we become transformed inside and out. So it's very powerful. And, you know, from, you know, I think you can, you know, I know that with the Kundalini yoga, they say you should choose a meditation or choose a practice and do it for 40 days. I know that Kay, you did that, didn't you, with the Kundalini? You can tell everyone next week when your audio works. Yeah, so the Kundalini yoga, they say that, but I've always procrastinated about doing that, but that's because I'm not a pure Kundalini person. My lineage isn't that. I'm really dedicated to my tantric studies and my tantric hatha practices. So the Gayatri mantra, I can say that it does change, and I can say that I can resonate with what the Gayatri mantra is supposed to do, because daily, there's not been a day since lockdown that I haven't practiced the Gayatri mantra. Again, it's like a bit like brushing my teeth. I became quite dedicated. I really wanted to, instead of being caught up with in my own head or becoming worried or allowing fear to take over, I dedicated myself to my practices, and now I know that, you know what, I think, you know, I'm not going to die. Well, we're all going to die, but now I know that, and now I don't have the fear of, oh my God, what am I going to do with these students? Is online training going to work? Instead, I dedicated myself to my practices and did what I could. And the Gayatri mantra, it's not just the Gayatri, it's not, if you only practice the Gayatri mantra, you're not, you know, and didn't do anything else, of course, your life's going to unravel, it's going to become terrible. But applying it as well as everything else, it's, and, you know, dedicating, you know, part of it to your life will help with your studies, in the sense that you guys are in that place. But I'm not saying for you guys to do it every day. It's up to you. You might resonate with Soham. You intuitively today, I felt I wanted to give you guys Soham as a mantra, and if that's worked for you, if it felt right for you, perhaps stay with that. You know, or if Om might be, or Rama today, if I said Rama and you were like, that really works for me. So, you know, see where you're at, you know, or maybe finding your own mantra isn't for you right now. Okay. I don't want to force anything on anyone. It's okay. So let's keep this here so that I can work with it. So we're going to do a call and response. So I'll say the first part, and then you repeat it. Well, you repeat it, but with me. So I'll say it, and you listen, and then I'll say it again, and you join in, and then so I'll do it in parts. Okay. So bear with me, because I'm used to just doing it on my own. I'm not used to doing it call and response. Okay. Here we go. Om Bhurvasvaha. Om Bhurvasvaha. Tatsavitu Varenyam. Tatsavitu Varenyam. Bargo Devasya Dhimahi. Bargo Devasya Dhimahi. Dhyo naha prachodayat. Dhyo naha prachodayat. Om Bhurvaspaha. Om Bhurvaspaha. Tatsavitu Varenyam. Tatsavitu Varenyam. Om Bhurvaspaha. Om Bhurvaspaha. Tatsavitu Varenyam. Tatsavitu Varenyam. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Yo naha prachodayat. Yo naha prachodayat. Om Bhurvaspaha. Tatsavitu Varenyam. Om Bhurvaspaha. Tatsavitu Varenyam. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Yo naha prachodayat. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Yo naha prachodayat. Now we're going to do the whole thing over maybe 4 times and see if you can try and flow with it. Don't worry if you can't. I'll try and do a wee recording for you and post it into your Facebook group. As much as it's cringy for me, that's my ego. I need to get over myself. Okay, so here we go. Om Bhurvaspaha Tatsavitu Varenyam. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Yo naha prachodayat. Om Bhurvaspaha Tatsavitu Varenyam. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Yo naha prachodayat. Om Bhurvaspaha Tatsavitu Varenyam. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Yo naha prachodayat. One more time. Om Bhurvaspaha Tatsavitu Varenyam. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Yo naha prachodayat. Namaste. Okay, so I'll switch the recording off for just now. Okay.